Today our topic is the Stoic response to stress. Life is full of challenges, and stress is something everyone experiences. It can come from work, relationships, money problems, or even just the uncertainty of the future. But the way we handle stress can make all the difference. Stoicism, an ancient philosophy, offers powerful tools to deal with stress in a calm and rational way. Stoicism teaches us that we cannot control everything that happens to us, but we can control how we respond. This idea is at the heart of dealing with stress. Let's explore how Stoicism can help us turn stress into strength. First, let's understand what stress really is. Stress is our body's reaction to situations we find difficult or overwhelming. It's not the event itself that causes stress, but how we perceive it. For example, if you lose your job, you might feel stressed because you think, "I'll never find another job," or "I can't support my family." But another person in the same situation might think, "This is a chance to find something better," or "I'll use this time to learn new skills." The event is the same, but the thoughts and feelings about it are different. Stoicism teaches us to focus on our thoughts and reactions, not the events themselves. The Stoics believe that many things in life are outside our control. The weather, other people's actions, and even some of our own emotions are not things we can always change. But what we can control is our own mind and how we choose to respond. This is where the Stoic concept of the dichotomy of control comes in. It means dividing things into two categories: things we can control and things we cannot. When we focus on what we can control, we feel more empowered and less stressed. For example, if you're stuck in traffic, you can't control the traffic, but you can control how you react. You can choose to stay calm and listen to music or a podcast, instead of getting angry and frustrated. Another important Stoic idea is to accept what happens without resistance. This doesn't mean giving up or being passive. It means acknowledging reality and working with it, not against it. When we fight against things we can't change, we create more stress for ourselves. For example, if it starts raining during your picnic, you can't stop the rain. But you can accept it and find a new plan, like moving the picnic indoors or enjoying the rain. The Stoics called this Amor fati, which means love of fate. It's about embracing whatever happens, good or bad, and finding a way to make the best of it. Stoicism also teaches us to focus on the present moment. Stress often comes from worrying about the future or regretting the past. But the present moment is the only thing we truly have. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, "We suffer not from the events in our lives, but from our judgment about them." This means that our thoughts about the future or the past can create more stress than the events themselves. By focusing on the present, we can reduce this mental burden. For example, if you're worried about a big presentation at work, instead of imagining all the things that could go wrong, focus on what you can do right now to prepare. This shift in focus can help you feel more in control and less stressed. Another Stoic tool for dealing with stress is to practice gratitude. The Stoics believe that we often take things for granted and focus too much on what we don't have. By practicing gratitude, we can shift our attention to the good things in our lives, even during difficult times. For example, if you're stressed about work, take a moment to appreciate that you have a job, a home, and people who care about you. Gratitude doesn't make problems disappear, but it can help us see them in a different light. It reminds us that even in hard times there is still good in our lives. The Stoics also believed in preparing for challenges. They called this premeditatio malorum, which means the premeditation of evils. It's not about being negative or expecting the worst. It's about imagining what could go wrong and planning how you would handle it. This practice helps us feel more prepared and less anxious. For example, if you're worried about losing your job, think about what steps you would take to find a new one. By preparing mentally, you reduce the fear of the unknown and feel more confident in your ability to handle challenges. Stoicism also teaches us to keep things in perspective. When we're stressed, problems can feel much bigger than they really are. The Stoics used a technique called view from above to remind themselves of the bigger picture. Imagine looking at your life from a high mountain, or even from space. From this perspective, your problems seem small compared to the vastness of the world. This doesn't mean your problems aren't important, but it helps you see them in context. For example, if you're stressed about a small mistake at work, remind yourself that in the grand scheme of your life, this is just a tiny moment. Another Stoic practice is to reflect on the impermanence of life. The Stoics believed that everything in life is temporary, both the good and the bad. This idea can help us not take things too seriously. When we're stressed, we often feel like the problem will last forever. But the Stoics remind us that nothing lasts forever. This can be comforting in difficult times. For example, if you're going through a tough period at work, remind yourself that this is just a phase. It will pass, and better days will come. This perspective can help you stay calm and resilient. Stoicism also emphasizes the importance of self-discipline. When we're stressed, it's easy to fall into bad habits, like overeating, procrastinating, or avoiding problems. But the Stoics believe that self-discipline is key to a good life. By practicing self-control, we can make better choices and handle stress more effectively. For example, instead of staying up late worrying, go to bed early and get good rest. Instead of avoiding a difficult conversation, face it with courage and honesty. Self-discipline helps us stay focused and strong, even in tough times. Finally, Stoicism teaches us to focus on what truly matters. In the modern world, we often stress about things that aren't really important. We worry about what others think of us, about having the latest gadgets, or about keeping up with social media. But the Stoics remind us that true happiness comes from within, not from external things. They believed that the most important things in life are our character, our values, and our relationships. By focusing on these, we can find peace and meaning, even in stressful times. For example, instead of stressing about a social media post, spend time with people you care about, or do something that makes you feel proud of yourself. In conclusion, Stoicism offers a powerful way to deal with stress. By focusing on what we can control, accepting what we cannot, and keeping things in perspective, we can reduce our stress and live more peacefully. Stoicism teaches us to be grateful, to prepare for challenges, and to focus on what truly matters. It reminds us that stress is often caused by our thoughts, not the events themselves. By changing our thoughts, we can change how we feel. Life will always have challenges, but with Stoic wisdom, we can face them with calm and courage. Remember, you cannot control everything that happens to you, but you can control how you respond. This is the Stoic response to stress, and it can transform your life.